All right, hey everybody. So this is Matt again with Kaleo Coffee. I've been promising to do an AeroPress video for the longest time, and just haven't found the right moment and the right place to do it. You can probably hear me better now that I don't have that stove going anymore. So we've been talking about doing an AeroPress video for a long time. So we've just been out here in the Yosemite National Park in Tuolumne Valley, Tuolumne Meadow, and just pulled over to the side of the road, figured it's a good time for a coffee. So I got my setup here. I'm just going to kind of talk through it while I make this coffee. You can kind of see what I'm doing. But my setup here is, it's all snow peak. So it's a snow peak pot, snow peak lid. And then this is, I want to say this is a Snow Peak Whisper Light, I believe is the stove. And then Primus Fuel is what I'm using. I like the Snow Peak when there's no wind, but if there's any kind of wind, like we have a little bit of maybe like a 10-mile-an-hour breeze here in the meadow, it takes forever to cook unless you have a really good windshield. Basically, suffice to say, I like using my Jetboil a lot better, but I have I have this with me here today. So I've already got my coffee ground. I'm just going to dump that inside my AeroPress, and I basically used the AeroPress 1 scoop, and I took one of the filters from the AeroPress and put it inside here, and boiled my water. And AeroPress recommends using cooler water than what's kind of normal. I think their instructions say something about 185 degrees. So I just kind of boil this, bring it to a boil, and then I just pour a little bit of water on top of the grind to let it bloom a little bit. And I started my timer, so I'm going to let it go for 30 seconds. I don't do any scales or anything when I'm doing this. I really don't care. I'm not going to get that crazy into it. So anyway, so I'm just going to let that bloom for 30 seconds, and then we'll dump the rest of it in there. It's really, really quite simple. The AeroPress is great, especially for doing outdoors coffee like this. You can get, just a second here. That's my daughter. I might have to do a little cut here. Problem in the background. So this thing has been sitting way longer than I usually do. It's actually not that bad. I usually press it at 1:30. We're at 2 minutes right now. So I usually give it 10 little stirs, and I don't do any more than that. Okay? So I'm going to put that inside there, put the cap on. I'm going to try to move a little bit quicker now, because if I let it sit in there too long, it'll over extract. So I do the inverted method, as you can see. So I usually flip at 1:30, and I kind of let it sit there until 2, and then I start pushing. You're just kind of putting your kind of body weight on this. Not like a whole lot of body weight, just basically your arm weight. If it's too hard to push, like if you're really having to work for it, then your grind is too fine. If it just pushes really easily, then your grind is too coarse. So with the Porlex grinder, the grinder that I'm using here, if I can find it, this guy here, you can adjust your grind right down here. So this thing makes it more coarse and more fine. But I think we've had it set where it needs to be for quite some time. Again, we're not going for perfection back here. Good thing about the AeroPress is once you're done with it, you just take it, and then you can pop the remainder of whatever you had inside there right into the trash or into whatever it is that you're going to shoot your coffee into. Oh, right. All right, put them up here. Good job. Okay. And I usually don't put my stirrer inside there because I like to use that water, so I didn't get any in here. I like to use the extra water just to dilute it a little bit and to make a full cut. That's pretty much it. So yeah, Whisper Light, Snow Peak Whisper Light. You can kind of see what this thing looks like here. Folds down really well. It's made out of titanium, so it's already cooled off. So that folds up like that. And then you've got this little guy here. It may have taken forever to boil my water because I've got about 8 ounces too much inside there. I usually use the cup that my daughter is currently collecting pine cones and small pieces of lavender with. But it usually packs down pretty small into this little tiny kit. So the Primus Fuel Whisper Light. If you want to get one of these, it's great. I mean, these are just really good all-around backcountry cook pots. You can pretty much do anything in it. Like I said, that's what we happen to have today. So I hope you enjoyed our AeroPress kind of tutorial video. Sorry about the few delays there, and sorry about this white balance in the background. It really is quite a beautiful, it's a beautiful environment back there. And I'll let you kind of take a look at it here. If you've never been to Tuolumne Valley, or Tuolumne Meadow in Yosemite, it is a great place to visit.